Humans have been sharing stories since they could talk. We first used stories to convey information, like where food and dangers were. Even now, we still use stories to convey information, as information told through a story is retained far longer than simple points of data. This is because when a story is told, more parts of the brain light up than if one was just hearing a series of numbers. However, when one sets out to make a set of data into a story, one must keep in mind what they want to say in said story. A story without a proper goal in mind is almost as bad as a list of data. One way of finding a potential story in a set of data is to look for some big variation in the data and focus on that. Once you have the story in mind, write it out in the form of a storyboard. Go at swift pace and don't be afraid to make mistakes, as the more mistakes you make early on, the more time you have to fix them. The most common type of story structure is the linear story, where one event happens after another and is usually caused by the past event. This can frequently manifest as a change over time tale. Sometimes the story will be a complex one. If that happens, it's a good idea to practice to start the story simple before becoming complicated. Last, when finishing the finishing touches on a story, there's a few things to keep in mind. One is the use of labels. Use them only and where they are needed. Too many will be far too distracting. The second big thing is eye candy. While it can be distracting, a good use of eye candy can help the audience stay invested and draw their attention to other important areas. Finally, you should try to be simple and straightforward, but don't be afraid to use more complex methods of conveying the information if the topic requires such methods.